Come back, Compas. That's what it is, man. Make sure you
Appreciate
guys
it.
tune in.
Welcome to Combat Compas. I am Fernando Ramirez, and with me, as always, my co-host, my tag team partner, Gilbert Manzano, OC Registrar LA Daily News. What's up, bro?
What's up, Fernando? I really thought you froze there for a second. You kind of killed my vibe a little bit, but I'm still excited. I love Combat Compas, episode 3, by the way. And should I just list them, Fernando? You can say what if you want. Ryan Garcia.
What?
Come on. Gennady Golovkin.
What?
And now the former heavyweight champion of the world, Andy Ruiz Jr., the Destroyer, is going to be on the show today.
What?
Now, can I deliver or what, Fernando? We have some great guests on this podcast. And as you know, we have a YouTube channel. So please subscribe because you get Triple G, Ryan Garcia, Andy Ruiz. What else? What else do you want? Subscribe, Combat Compas on YouTube, Fernando. I'm excited for the show.
I'm excited too. I mean, Andy Ruiz is one of those guys that I told you, Gilbert. I've had when NBC San Diego, when he first won his 3 championships, I was able to cover him a couple of times out in Imperial Valley. Man, Gilbert, it is hot. Like, if we think it's hot here, out there it's like a desert. It is plain hot. It was funny because they did it kind of in a meat locker, his press conference after he'd won those belts, because it was so hot. So it was nice and air conditioned back in the day. So it was cool to see Andy again. And I mean, he's lost weight. He looks like he's in good shape, and he looks like he's ready for that Luis Ortiz fight.
And going off of what you just said, Fernando, there ain't no meat locker anymore. He has his own gym. He has a gym in San Diego. He's living the high life. So that's what happens when you become the heavyweight champion of the world. But he's far removed from the Anthony and Joshua 2 fights there, the big win, and then kind of falling back down to earth with the loss. I'm glad that we got to talk to him. He's in a better place now. He's excited to fight Luis Ortiz. So, I can't wait to get this interview rolling. But it is cool that he has his own gym now.
Yeah, no, it really is. It feels like a while, huh? Since I mean, I guess because of COVID and everything that happened, but it feels like that was a lifetime ago when he ended up upsetting Joshua and everything, and it just feels like a while back, and it's good that he's finally, after so many layoffs, because he had a layoff in between the time that he lost to Joshua and then fighting, and then another layoff, and now he's finally getting back in the ring, and it's good to see that he's finally getting back in there, hopefully more consistently now than in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but the guy said there's positives that come out of it, having some layoffs. So the last time he fought was Chris Arreola at the StubHub Dignity Health Park, whatever.
You were there.
Though, yeah, I was there, the War Grounds, and there was a lot of actual fights in the stands. There was fights during the actual main event. That's the crazy part. Like, I love boxing, and I will tell anybody who's a boxing fan, go down to Carson to watch a fight in the War Grounds and at the StubHub, but just be careful because people do like to fight. But it's a good energy, and you get the hardcore fans there. So that's why I think Andy likes fighting in LA. He's not fighting there this time. He's fighting at Crypto.com Arena, aka Staples Center in downtown, a bigger venue. So we really got into it, though, Fernando. We asked about big fights coming up. So he's having a main event at the Crypto. Now he wants a bigger fight, supposedly, maybe Wilder, maybe another fight with Joshua.
No.
So, but not Tyson Fury because they're friends. We'll get into that. But it's just a good place for Andy Ruiz to be in a very, it's a crowded heavyweight division, but it's a lot of good names, and it's just kind of a strange division too because Usyk is dominating. Tyson Fury, is supposedly retired. But there's still a lot of big names, so I'm glad we got Andy to talk about everything in the heavyweight division. Heavyweight division is getting some love on Combat Compas episode 3.
Of course, but honestly, Gilbert, it's good that he's finally putting himself back out there because people had forgotten about Andy Ruiz at one point. The only time that he had kind of made some noise when he joined Team Canelo, but now it's like, no, he's on his own. He's doing his thing. Like you said, he has his own gym. Now he's coming out. He's coming back, and he's ready to fight against Luis Ortiz. But you know what? I'm not going to keep the folks waiting, Gilbert, because that's mean. That's messed up. And that's not what we're about here at Combat Compas. We're all about giving the people what they want. So let's go to that fight. Let's go to that interview with Andy Ruiz and see what he has to say about the upcoming matchup against Luis Ortiz. This next guest is a former heavyweight champion of the world, but he is on a mission to get his belts back. Andy the Destroyer Ruiz is joining us today on Compas. He'll be stepping into the ring September 4th against Luis Ortiz at Crypto Arena in Los Angeles. Andy, welcome to the show. And how excited are you to end this 16-month layoff and get back into the ring and fight Ortiz?
Hey, how you doing, man? And it feels good, man, from a long layoff, and it's time to get back to work, especially from the mission that we're in right now and where I want to accomplish. And the main thing is just to get back in combat.
So what made you take this fight? I mean, Luis Ortiz is obviously a dangerous fighter. Is it because you wanted to showcase that you're still one of the best heavyweights in the world?
Yeah, because, Luis Ortiz is a tough guy, and people wanted this fight even before I announced that I was looking for an opponent and whatnot. And, people wanted to see this fight, and I thought it was a perfect fight. I know it was going to be a dangerous fight, but I have the abilities to win this fight, and, we like challenges.
How do you feel you have grown since leaving Team Canelo, and how has it been working with your new trainer, Alfredo Osuna?
It feels good, man, especially since I have my own gym. I have my own facility, so we're focused. We're in the gym every single day, so I don't have to wait on anybody or anything like that, So if I'm bored, I'm at home. Hey, you know what? I'm just going to go to the gym and, just get in there and have fun.
If you win on September 4th, who will you fight next? Will it be Deontay Wilder? We keep on hearing about that connection between you guys.
When I win on September 4th, God willing, there's a lot of heavyweights out there that I could fight. There's Wilder, there's Usyk, there's a trilogy against Anthony Joshua. There's a lot of guys out there, but I think my main focus is on Luis Ortiz. This is a big step. And, I just got to execute on September 4th, and we could start calling out different guys.
Andy, there's been a lot of talk about, obviously, you may be fighting Deontay Wilder. When asked about his prediction for your fight, he said, and I quote, "With this fight, I see Ortiz winning the fight in a devastating fashion and controlling the fight." What are your thoughts on what Wilder said about the fight?
That's his compa right there. I think everybody has a plan until they get hit. He's not the one in there fighting for him, and everybody has their own opinion, everybody has their own prediction, but at the end of the day, whoever wants to fight the most is going to win that fight.
Hey Andy, sorry about that. I'm back. Hopefully Fernando's been treating you well. But just more on the Wilder fight. Just kind of a follow-up. Is that something you really want? Is something you're pushing for? Maybe a fight that could get you, back to the title contention too.
Of course, I know he has a fight against Robert in October. I think they announced that already. So I win my fight on September 4th. He wins this fight. It's an easy fight to be made. That fight it will be so easy to be made because we're in the same organization. We're both with Al Heyman, and if Al Heyman wants me to fight him, I'm right here willing to fight.
Are you guys good friends, or is this kind of a little bit of trash talk to promote a fight, or how's it kind of between you two?
Against me and Wilder?
Yeah.
I don't have no hate against any other fighter or anything, because at the end of the day, I respect every single fighter, even if they talk shit about me or even if they're against me, because at the end of the day, we risk our lives in there to feed our loved ones. We risk our life to get to the same mission, to become champions. So I have no hate. You will never ever see me talk shit about any other fighter ever.
I respect it, Andy. Go ahead, Fernando.
Andy told me a couple of years ago, I have a big heart. I'm a big guy. I'm a fighter, but I have a big heart. So Andy, you're a big guy, but you got a big heart.
Yeah, I have a big heart, but once we're in that ring, I gotta put that switch on, and it's life and death.
The Destroyer. That's the name, the Destroyer, right there. Yeah. But Andy, I know Fernando asked you about Wilder going the other way with Luis Ortiz, but you got support from Tyson Fury. He gave you a shout out. I saw that. How was that getting him on your corner? And you guys pretty good friends, you and Tyson?
it feels good, having a supporter, especially from Christ. He believes in Jesus, he believes in God, and that's someone where he's a big supporter. I even have pictures of him right here on my wall of me and him taking pictures. He took me in his hotel room. We had Bible studies one time, and he's a good guy, bro. Even though he has a how can I say it,
The
his
persona.
yeah, it's high and all that, but he's a loving guy as well.
And Andy, it's such a very stacked heavyweight division. We already talked about Wilder, your opponent Luis Ortiz, yourself, Anthony Joshua, Oleksandr Usyk. Did you catch that fight by any chance on Saturday? The loss for Joshua against Usyk, the rematch.
I did. We all watched it as a team right there at my house, and we kind of knew that it was going to happen that way. I didn't feel Joshua the same. I feel he needed to change some of his tools. He's a bigger man. I feel he should have controlled the fight, and going bombs. Once you already got hurt and you got dropped, you already know the feeling. So I feel he was a little too cautious and didn't want to get hurt or anything like that. But it was a good fight.
And Andy, hopefully my wife is okay still. But do you think, going off of your response, do you think Joshua just changed his whole approach after he lost to you? Because before he was more of a brawler, and then it became more like too kind of timid and more kind of trying to be a skillful fighter than an actual brawler. Is that something you think he changed after you?
You know what? I had so many messages on Instagram, on text, saying, "Bro, you messed up his style before you fought him. He used to be super aggressive. He was the monster, this and that." And I was like, man, it was God's plan, I guess. But of course, once you get hurt or you get dropped, you start thinking behind your head, like, man, I don't want to get hurt like that again. But look at the fight when I got hurt with him. I got back up and I was still forward. I still try to pursue the fight, even with my fight against what's his name, Chris Ariola. When he hurt me 2 times or 3 times, my momentum was still trying to go forward. After he hurt me, I wasn't scared. I kept going forward and forward, and I felt that's what he needed to do. Like, you're already hurt, fuck it. You got to just go for the battle.
And Andy, what gets you hyped going into a fight? What are you listening to? What's on the beats or whatever music? Do you get music that got hyped up, or what turns you into the destroyer?
Just remembering the mission, the mission that you're doing, all the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears that we put in the gym right here, and we try to execute everything that we work on from the gym to the ring when we fight. So I start trying to put myself in a zone and start praying to God. Please, God, help me get this victory. Please help me win and to be strong. And if I get hurt, please help me get up and win the fight. And I just start. No one's gonna pump you up besides yourself. Ain't nobody fighting for you or anything like that. So I feel you got to do it on your own. But yeah, we listen to music. And when we're in the locker room, we listen to music. We start laughing. We're talking, but at the end of the day, in our minds, we're just, I don't know. Me, I'm just like, please, God, let me win this fight. Please give me the victory and this and that. And, there's just millions of things going through your mind.
Man, that was me in high school. Oh my God, I didn't study for a test. God, please let me pass this class. I promise I'll start studying next time. So yeah. I definitely know what you feel. But Andy, you felt the taste of victory before. You've had those belts. I saw you with those belts. You've tasted that before. How hungry are you to get back to that and to reclaim your title as the best pound for pound heavyweight in the world?
I'm really hungry because I know what I'm capable of doing, and I know exactly what to do and what not to do when I get those belts back. Because, I went on a whole little roller coaster my whole journey. When I became the unified champion of the world and making history. So everything happened so fast, and you know what? I thank God that I took those long layoffs because it's good for the mind. It's good for the brand. to reminisce everything, you know. You could have everything and then you could completely have nothing at one fight. So I feel I learned a lot, and I just gotta start again and get back to the ladders and do the things right.
And Andy, one more. Hopefully, the Wi-Fi hasn't crapped that on me yet. But you're fighting at Crypto.com Arena. Used to be called Staples Center, LA. You know, a lot of Mexicans are going to be out there. You were at the StubHub before with Chris Arreola. But how many Mexicans and how are you expecting, and how excited are you for that fight in LA?
I'm excited because I know all the raza, all the Mexicanos are going to be out there supporting, all the Latinos that are Cuban también. So I know it's going to be a packed show, and if not, they're going to watch it on TV. That's the main thing, is for everybody to watch it and have fun, because there's going to be a lot of fireworks, not just in my fight, but there's going to be Pitbull Cruz, there's going to be Abner Mares, there's going to be a lot of good fights in the undercard. So but the ones that they shouldn't miss is the main event against me and Luis Ortiz.
Again, September 4th, Andy Ruiz, the Destroyer, steps back into the ring against Luis Ortiz. It's going to be a great fight. Andy's going to try and get his way back to the top. Andy, you know why we call this Compas, right? Because we're Compas. So obviously that's why the show's called Compas. We appreciate you jumping on, and good luck on September 4th. You're a compa of us, so whenever you want to come back on, feel free. We appreciate you, Andy.
All right, man. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Boom! Another knockout for the Compas. What are we even doing? What are we even thinking? All the Compas do are get big level hitters. All we do is swing for the fence, put people in the ground. They get knocked at. That's all we do here. What a great interview with Andy Ruiz. The Compas keep going at it, dude. What can I tell you? Don't forget to watch his fight September 4th against Luis Ortiz. Hopefully Andy can get back on top. Shout out of the same area, dude. Oh, speaking of being on top. If you watched last week's episode of Compas on the Beat, you know who's on top today out of your three Compas today. That's another one for Dan and Daygo. Call me Nostradamus. I don't know what to tell you. I already knew who was going to win that fight on Saturday before it even happened. But stick around. Let's not forget to follow us on all social media platforms. We are on the Twitters. What? At Compas OTB. The OTB is capital. At Compas on the Beat on the Instagrams. What? At Compas on the Beat on the TikToks. What? And now our two glorious YouTube pages. One, Compas on the Beat, and the other, Combat Compas, for all your combat needs. Don't forget to get to both channels and all those social media platforms. We're always promoting and putting good stuff up there. But now, let's get to me taking my victory lap and get around that stooge.
Dan and Daygo was fired up, but I think Andy Ruiz matched his energy for that. Andy seems like he's ready to go, man. I mean, and this is probably the best that we've seen Andy Ruiz. So he seems like he's ready to go for that September 4th matchup.
Yeah, we covered it all, man. We were asking about his past, his future, the potential showdown against Deontay Wilder, but he was like, hey, I don't want to go too far ahead because Luis Ortiz, the Cuban boxer, is dangerous too. And we kind of are overlooking it because we want Andy to fight Deontay, but this is a very good fight in the heavyweight division, a fun fight. I'll get into the other fight that we saw last weekend that wasn't as fun, but Andy Ruiz fighting Luis Ortiz is such a good fight that if he does win this fight, Fernando, I think he earns a title shot.
And Gilbert, the interesting part about it is when I was, like I told you, when I was at NBC covering Ruiz back when he won the championships, he told us, oh yeah, Deontay and I are good friends and everything. But this time it didn't, because you heard me ask him. I'm like, hey, he said that you're going to get dominated and you're probably going to get knocked out. Like, what is that? And then he was like, yeah, I mean, people can talk and everything. And he's like, I'm never going to talk shit.
That's what he said. That's his compa.
Yeah, that's his compa. So that was interesting, Gilbert. Now from all these years, now all of a sudden he says that he's not really friends with Deontay the way it was back in the day. That was pretty interesting to kind of hear him say that.
Yeah, and I think it's mostly Deontay Wilder, backing the guy he already beat. He knocked out Luis Ortiz, which Luis
Twice.
Ortiz, yeah, he had him going. Luis Ortiz gave him a good match. So I think now Deontay was like, hey, that's good on my resume. So he's backing the compa there. That's what he said, Andy. But Andy has compa Tyson Fury on his side, so he's okay. He has friends. But besides that, Fernando, part of the interview I really enjoyed, and I was talking, I actually was talking about this yesterday with you. Uh, I think Andy Ruiz took away Anthony Joshua's confidence, and we're
You
about to
were
get
saying
into
that.
it. And so I made sure to ask Andy Ruiz, do you think you changed Anthony Joshua, his style? Because he used to be, I'll say this, he wasn't really a skillful fighter, but he was a brawler. He was at least exciting. He had some power. He had a weak chin, but at least he went for it. Now he doesn't go for it. He pretends to be a skillful fighter, jab, jab here, move there. He's too big for that. And Andy said, hey, I don't know why he's not being aggressive. And people texted me, messaged me saying, you took his confidence away. You changed his style. And I know Andy doesn't want to talk, crap. He's such a nice guy. But he's like, yeah, I changed that guy, and he's a different fighter because of me.
Gilbert, that second fight, I thought Joshua went, not the second fight against Usyk, the second fight against Ruiz. I thought obviously Ruiz came in out of shape. He admitted it on TMZ. He said, I ate too many tacos and had too many beers. But I thought Anthony went the Floyd Mayweather route. Let me come in, let me hit him a couple of times and I'll back up, score the points, kind of do that whole thing. I think Anthony was really nervous about getting hit by Andy that second. I remember that second fight completely, and I just remember Anthony Joshua would not take any risk. He went safe the whole fight, ended up winning based off of points and everything. But it was just he wasn't the same fighter, and you can tell he is still not confident. I don't want to say he lost his confidence, but he's just not the same boxer. And I think Andy's right. He's just not the same guy that he was before.
Well, yeah, let's get into it. You mentioned Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather. He's not Floyd Mayweather. He's a big
Oh no,
6'4".
yeah.
And
He
even
could
if you
beat Floyd
wanted to be Floyd Mayweather, if you try to be like that, he's not. He doesn't have the defense. He doesn't have the combination. He doesn't have the speed. But in his head, he thinks he's doing that. And let's just kind of get into it because Anthony Joshua lost for the second time to Oleksandr Usyk, and I don't want to get Usyk forgotten here. He is such a skillful fighter.
Yeah.
He's not that big, but he's big enough. He has enough power to get respect, and he's so crafty. And I love where he there was times where I don't want to say he got bored, but he was just picking the guy apart. A couple punches here, get out, and then mess him up a little more. That he just started brawling with the guy. Like, okay, come on, wake up. And by whatever round 10, this is already over with. And you just keep seeing Anthony and Joshua try to do a slow combination, too slow to get out the way, got hit, a little small weak jab here, too big, fumbling around. It's like Frankenstein out there. And it's just, to me, like, this is not the guy we saw early in his career. The guy who was really exciting when he beat Klitschko. And I know that in that Klitschko fight, that's where the high started going low. And he went down, hit the canvas, and showed his weak chin in that fight. But he got up and he kept brawling and he won that way. Now he's too scared because then he hit the floor again against Andy Ruiz Jr. And he recovers, tries to get some skills, and then he fights like Floyd Mayweather and won that fight that way. And maybe in his mind he thought, okay, maybe I am a skillful fighter. I could do this. And it was, I don't want to say it was kind of sad or depressing, but you saw his emotions change really quick after he lost the fight to Usyk. It was, first it was nice because he was trying to hold up the Ukraine flag, and obviously there's been so much going on in Ukraine because of the war with Russia. So he was holding up the flag, and it was pretty nice. It was respectful and mutual. And then they read the scorecards, and it did not help that one judge gave it to Anthony Joshua. I don't know why, 115, 113. And then he starts changing his mood. Like, I think maybe that scorecard said, hey, I think I had a chance to win it here. Why did I lose? And he was so mad. He walked out of the ring. He took Usyk's titles and dropped them. He got in Usyk's face and said, I don't know how you beat me. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then Usyk was just surprised. But he went through that emotion where, like, this guy beat me twice. There's no way. I can't believe it. I'm Anthony Joshua. I want a gold medal. I'm a heavyweight champion. Why did this guy beat me twice, a cruiserweight? And then he starts accepting it, like, yeah, this guy's better. Yeah. And then he gets on the microphone saying, I was just born in the wrong era. This is the wrong generation for me. I'm too big. I'm like, now the excuses are coming in his head. Sorry for getting long-winded, Fernando,
No,
but
no.
that whole sequence of him going through the motion of like a guy who was such a badass and he was doing so well in boxing that he's just brought down to earth and he doesn't know how to do it. But I saw that he apologized on Twitter, and I think he's just like, yeah, I was kind of an ass up there. And it was just a weird thing where hopefully Anthony Joshua regains that confidence and figures out who he is.
Before I jump in and say what you said, if Daygo goes on a rant later, I hope you forgive him because you did I'm sure he's timing you and he's like, hey, I got 2 minutes and whatever.
But he's ready. I know what's coming up with Daygo. He's ready.
All joking aside, I thought he kind of snapped. Maybe it's been the pressure of all this stuff going on the last few years with him. I mean, he really has been doubted. People call him they called him a paper champ. I remember when he had the belts originally, then he won them back from Andy. Everybody still called him a paper champ, that it was a cheap way to win them. And I just feel like everything kind of made him snap. But you're right. That judge, like, where did you, like, where in your head did you think Anthony Joshua won? Like, how could you come out and say that? And then obviously, like you said, he snapped and he went full WWE where he's like grabbing the belts. He's doing all this. He's trying to cut a promo, which, I mean, half of, like, I was trying to listen to his promo and all I could think was what? Like, he just was like, you could barely understand what he was saying.
I'm not Rocky Marciano.
Exactly. And I'm like, what are you like, born in the wrong era? Dude, those guys would have torched you. Like, just because you're big and you're athletic and you have a six-pack doesn't mean you could hang with all these guys.
Right, Fernando, you did it better than I did.
No, I mean, like, okay, some of these fighters probably had beer bellies, but those guys knew how to brawl. Anthony, you don't know how to brawl. You can't do what those guys did. So, and you know what? If I'm saying something wrong, let me ask my good friend, the Gypsy King, to see what he had to say about the fight between these two guys. Let's see what he had to say.
Hi guys, Tyson Fury, aka the Gypsy King. I've just seen Joshua lose for the second time to Usyk out of his depth. However, England has been relieved of its belts yet again, as usual. But there is a remedy and a solution that I can suggest. If you want those belts back, then send in the Gypsy Barbarian of England. Come on! Send me in. I will relieve the Ukrainian Dosser of his belts like I did the last Ukrainian Dosser. It's not going to be cheap. If you want the best, then you're going to pay. It's going to be very expensive. So get your fucking checkbook out, and I will relieve that Ukrainian Dosser of them belts. You know.
Wow. I love when he says Dosser. That's the best part. Oh, you're gonna pick Tyson Fury?
Hey, I'm ready. La colecta.
Yeah.
Hey, we're in church. La colecta, por favor, para colectar para la pelea.
My dollars for Tyson Fury here.
Hey, I want to see that.
I want to see that. Those are the two of the best of the best, and it's in the skill against a big skillful guy. So I think Tyson Fury will probably be the favorite there, but that's a really good fight between the two. But yeah, get it done. And I know the Joshua being from England couldn't get it done. Maybe Tyson Fury could do it and beat the Ukrainian, because he did beat Klitschko when he was in his heyday.
Yeah, no, exactly. But Gilbert, I need to show you something else, because this was something pretty interesting that happened last week on Comeback Compas that I need to show. I need to show you. Dan, you got Usman?
I'm gonna stick to my role, and I'm gonna go against Alberto, so I got Edwards.
Wow.
So now let's bring in the guy who predicted that Leon Edwards would win the UFC heavyweight championship. Dan and Daygo, let's welcome him in and see what he has to say about the fight and his prediction from last week.
Where's he at?
that is. I see who that is. That is Hilbert.
All right, come on, get on with it. Just say what you want to say.
Today. Excuse me, Stooge. I'm the expert up in this mother right now. Let me tell you something. I have a question for you. Seriously. Why did you doubt me? Is it because of that stupid haircut?
What?
Your stupid Fu Manchu on your face?
What?
Those stupid posters behind you?
What?
Those stupid lanyards behind you?
What?
That stupid blue shirt on your body?
Okay. Can you stop spitting?
What?
Stop spitting. Clean your screen.
It's called. Are we cutting?
No.
Anyway. It's called cutting a promo.
Okay, let me help you out.
You got me?
Because you don't know how to segue. You did a nice promo, by the way. I like the intensity and you're very fired up. But yeah, you know, a clock is right. A broken clock, there you go. The saying is right twice a day. And all you did, Daniel, you know, by the way, okay, you at least did it, and credit for getting Leon Edwards, and we'll get into it right now. But you just went against me. That's all you did. You had no idea who Leon Edwards was before last week. So
that doesn't matter.
Well, okay, since you're here, Daniel, give me your analysis of what Leon Edwards just did or did a few days ago to the best fighter in the world, and Usman.
Hey, just real quick, all I know is that on the scoreboard, right? Put another one up for Dan and Daygo. That's 2-0 against you. I picked against you also in the Super Bowl, and I was correct on that, unfortunately, because the Rams won. But let me give you my expert analysis, and then I'll wait for your expert ass analysis. First off, real quick, from what I saw on all the gurus on the Twitter sphere and everywhere else, supposedly the problem was that he leaned forward. I guess leaning forward is death in the UFC, and that's when he caught him with the boom! Nice little kick to the face. Boom, just like I got your ass today. I tagged you, just like he tagged Usman.
I leaned in for a second and you got me. Is that what you're saying?
What's up? Yeah, I got you. I
honestly thought it was a pretty interesting fight because I mean I was watching the whole thing, and I mean I think Edwards won the first round if I'm not mistaken, Gilbert. I don't know how you had it.
You know, I didn't watch the full 5 rounds. You know, I was doing some other stuff, but you know, I was watching the back end, and supposedly Usman was in heavy command of the fight. So I had to watch the final round, and it seemed like Usman was going to cruise to another, you know, easy defending title of the belt, and he is the best fighter in the UFC for a reason. And he had one mistake. He when I saw him leaning in, and he got caught with the kick, and it wasn't even like a perfect kick. He just went into it like, okay, kick me in the face now. I'm tired of winning. And it was 1 minute to go, and that's what makes, you know, UFC and boxing, all these sports that we love in combat, amazing, because all it takes is one shot, one punch, one kick, and that kick was amazing. Leon Edwards, props to him. I don't care what happened in the first 4 rounds because he got it done before the buzzer, before it was 0-0 on the clock. What a win! What a Hail Mary and a kick! And shout out to England, because Anthony Joshua couldn't do it for England, but Leon Edwards did.
Hey, can we for having it right? Also, did you see his eyes, dude? When he was on the ground, his eyes were like boom, blank stare. I was like, dang.
When you forgot your assignment was due at midnight and it's 11:50, boom. He was
Big
just like,
facts.
oh my
Got it in
god.
there.
Hey, when the Undertaker lost the streak. Big facts.
One thing that I was pretty surprised at, and by the way, I have a costume idea for the 3 of us. I think we should be Cormier, Joe Rogan, and I can't remember the other announcer when they go like this, and
dude,
like
that would be so sick.
That is the most awesome thing.
We can practice right now, you know, on 3s. Do your face.
All right, 1,
I have sunglasses.
3.
Ah!
Hopefully we can take a picture of that.
And it was like the offensive line coach, every time the run play goes 5 yards, I sent it to the lads. I was like, this is literally me every single time, dude.
But this is what was happening, Gilbert, in the final 2 to 3 rounds. It was just Usman would hit him with some good combinations. He'd throw him to the ground. He would and credit to Edwards, he actually got Usman on the ground for the very first takedown of his career in the first round, I believe. And it was a nice takedown, and he almost got him a couple of times, but Usman was very slippery. But in the last few rounds, it was just Usman dominating him. And you even heard the announcer say, like, man, you could tell Edwards is just tired. He's tired. Like, and then with 2 minutes left, Joe Rogan says, man, you better do something, dude. Like, this is the end of the fight and you're losing. Like, you got to do something to make some magic happen. Boom, the magic happens, and you just see it, and you're like, wow, okay. Like, he got the belt, and I saw that he FaceTimed his mom, and he's like, Mom, I told you I was going to do this. Like, nobody believed in me. I believed in me, and look, now I'm the well, and Dan and Daygo believed in him.
Thank you.
But now he's the champion of the world, and it's incredible to see that that he won the championship. But Gilbert, I mean, just real quick, Edwards, Usman 3 December, or you think they wait?
What is it? Right now we're in August. Yeah, I think December could be a good date. You're gonna have to run it back.
There's a lot of hypotheticals for fights in December.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big month. So yeah, you do it again for 3 times, and we can end it here because Dan and Dale will appreciate this. And again, nice little win here for you. Just going reverse card on me. I've been watching the videos of the coaches, like you mentioned, like Joe Rogan saying, "Wake up, Leon, this is your time." The coaches woke him up in that 5th round, and he was on the stool, and he was like, wasn't paying attention, and then out of nowhere, like, "What did you say to me?" And he woke up, and then the kick came. So that's good coaching right there. I'm sure you appreciate that, Daniel.
That's right. We're like coaching. Most of it is just motivating the players, right? You got to get them to believe in their own minds that, hey, dude, you're freaking Iron Man, Superman, whoever you want. You're a baller out here. You just got to execute. You've already been coached on what to do. Just do it. Execute. Be a monster.
Listen, stop feeling sorry for your Well, come on then. What's wrong with you? You're too now. You got to pull out of the fire. Come on, Leon, man. You got it, man. Come on. You got it. Sharpshooter. Yeah. Come on, Leon.
That's incredible to see. I mean, honestly, the coaching and everything obviously got them, but it was just great to see Leon win. And obviously now it's going to be awesome to see the rest of it. But Gilbert, are we keeping Dan, or what do you think?
Keep him on. There's more UFC talk. He might like this promo. Actually, it's gonna be a good promo. You're gonna play the video. I think you are.
So why don't you paint the picture for us, Gilbert?
As you can tell, I'm already laughing at the banner here. Luke Rockhold saves journalism, and it didn't go out the way he wanted. He lost to Costa, and he fought well. 3 rounds, unanimous decision. He was in the cage talking to Joe Rogan, saying, "I'm too old for this. I can't be doing this anymore." And it was a nice moment between Luke Rockhold and Daniel Cormier, where he said, "Man, you gave your all. You lost, but you gave it your all. You're a true fighter in the sport." But what he did a couple days before that, he became my hero. He saved journalism for me, and he called out a wannabe reporter for calling I forget. Just play the video, and because it was just amazing to me that somebody finally gets. I thought it's gonna be an athlete saying again, "You're writing dumb things. You're being mean to me." I'm like, nah, whatever. Nobody cares about that. He was more about doing your research. And Fernando, you love that too.
I do. Chief, I love that kind of stuff. So obviously I gotta play this and let's see what he had to say.
And I see all you guys around here right now, and I see this motherfucker right here. You got to do your fucking homework. You fucking, this degenerate culture of fucking Barstool Sports and Full Send is that you got to do your homework. You can't approach Cheeto and give him a fucking Mexican mask about his culture. His culture, he's fucking Ecuadorian, motherfucker. Do your homework.
Bleep.
It wasn't to do with his background. I was literally just in San Diego, bro.
No, but you gave him a Mexican mask and you said, this is your culture. Like you're wrestling. You said something along those lines.
I said
it was a disrespect. It was a disrespect to him and where he's from. So it's about being a reporter. It's about doing your homework and really understanding what I know you guys got carte blanche because Dana's fucking partner with you guys right now, but fucking do your fucking homework and grow a better culture.
So
Gilbert, that's honestly, and I mean, obviously, like you and I are very professional when we're working everything right here in Compas. We have fun, we do our thing and everything, but we have to be professional. We have to be well versed because players will call you and athletes will call you out on your. And I'm sorry, I'll say it. They'll call you out on your bullshit, and if you're not on it, if you don't know everything about them, exactly. They will tell you stuff. So it's like if you don't like even that, like mistaking a Ecuadorian athlete for a Mexican athlete, that kind of stuff, that's very disrespectful, because that basically you're saying, oh, you guys are all basically the same.
Yeah, you're all the
And
same.
no, and sometimes Mexicans don't even like Ecuadorians. Ecuadorians don't like Mexican. I mean, you just never know, and it's just showing blatant disrespect. And I just thought that that Luke painted it in exactly the right way. Do your research before you come up here. And 1, 2, don't try and go for the stupid social media video to get it to have likes and all that stuff. Just do your research, do your homework, and get good answers from these guys. Don't try and go for the cute thing that's going to be on Undisputed and on First Take and all that stuff, because that's not real journalism. Real journalism is just doing your job, and I give you the floor on this one, Gilbert.
Dude, Luke hit the trifecta for me. You mentioned it. He got the country wrong, the culture wrong. That's already like annoying to me. Like, and then the second part is do your homework. As a journalist, if you are a journalist, you do your research and you're prepared. But also, you don't pull that kind of stunt there of like, hey, here's a mask for you to wear for my video to get clicks. And then he took a shot at Barstool. That was awesome because I don't like the way they operate. And then the best part was like, too many people want to kiss the president's butt, Dana White. They want to please him. And he's like, okay, just be neutral, be fair. So he had it all covered there. Be fair, neutral, have some respect, do your research. Luke Rockhold, you're the hero of the show.
Before I let Dan go, just real quick, my other problem is that too many people are trying to be journalists when they're not. People who think that it's easy. People literally think, boss, that we just hang out with athletes all day. We chill with them and they answer our questions and we just get to hang out, and that we get that. I don't know what people's persona is, that they want to be journalists and they want to jump in and do all this stuff. And then you hear some of the questions, like a question's already been asked and somebody asks the same damn question. Open your ears, listen, like, get out of here. Like, I don't know. I get frustrated when they just allow anybody in, and it's like they're not real journalists. They're more of trying to get clicks and do clickbait. No, I don't know. I get ticked off with a lot of the stuff that I see, and a lot of the journalists that I see in press rooms or media rooms or any of that. So I guess I'm a little stay off my lawn kind of stuff when it comes to that kind of stuff. But Dan, go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry for taking that one over.
No, you're good. Just real quick, called me old fashioned, but my biggest problem, at least from my perspective as a fan, like, I can't stand fan journalists, whether you're on one of the biggest networks or whether you're doing your own thing on Twitter. Like, I just don't understand this whole opinionated thing. I don't understand, since when does being first go over being truthful and honest? I quite frankly, I don't get it. Like, I like, you've already heard me. Like, I could never do what you guys do, because I've even put in the chat, like, I wouldn't even know what to ask these people. Like, what do I ask them? I have no idea. Like, it's very difficult, but I have no idea what it would take. That's why I don't do it. And it's like, people think that, like you said, Frau, about the whole Tic Tacs and all that stuff, I can't stand it. I see some of these blue check mark dummies making stupid videos sideline, and I'm like, dude, this is a freaking joke. Like, you're making a joke out of your own profession. You know what I mean? And it's like, I can't stand these ass analysis people who are like cheerleading for players, organizations, or whatever you want. It drives me absolutely crazy. I hate when people have to have supposed journalists work for NFL teams now, to me, is a joke. Call me old fashioned. I don't care. Yeah. I don't understand it.
And that's why I kind of like the line about the Dana White thing, because, like, in UFC and MMA, a lot of these people are paid by the company, so it's just it's a little weird. But you know what? We sound like old guys. Get off our lawn. Let's move on. Dan and Daygo, one more time. You were right. Say you're right. Take the credit. Let's get out of here. Let me do the show.
What a wonderful day. He admitted, pero no te vayas a enojar, my love.
Yeah, kick him out. Yeah, thank you. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Sometimes I got to give him credit. I know he went the reverse on me, but he got it. A lot of people didn't get it. And it's funny because I was saying, I told you, Fernando, I said, Usman's going to be rusty. This guy's been active. You never know, and I still didn't buy it, so I'll give myself a tiny credit there.
No, and you do deserve, because you said it. He might be rusty. That's the crazy part, Gilbert, is that lately a lot of people have kind of had a lot of layoffs, and it's been a lot of like people have waited to fight, and you're kind of like, what? Like Rose and what's her name? I can't remember the yeah. The first time they had a killer match in Philadelphia when we were watching, they didn't have that big of a layoff. It was only like 5 months. But then you watch them the second time and they didn't do anything. Like you're kind of like, whoa, what? How? Like I don't know. I just think that boxing and UFC are crazy when you have big layoffs like that. I think it kind of hurts you more than helps you, unless you're getting help, like mental help or any of that. Obviously, that helps. But I'm saying when you just have a big layoff because you have a big layoff, sometimes it could hurt you athletic wise.
Yeah, it happens, and that's why we love combat sports. You never know what could happen. It could be a layoff here, it could be rust here, it could be bad mistake here. So it was a good weekend of combat sports, and it was awesome to talk to Andy Ruiz Jr. But Fernando, before we go, there's 2 boxing fights that caught my eye for the future. We look at the past here, we look for the future. We're always moving around. So there were 2 fights that I noticed. One was the double tocayo, Fernando. Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. Gilberto being me, you being Ramirez. And also, I'm left-handed, Fernando, so his nickname is Zurdo. So,
and he wears a cowboy hat, so Dan and Daygo.
Trifecta right there. All tocayos for everybody. He's just missing glasses to be a tocayo for Victor. But he's Mexican, exactly. So he's tocayo for everybody. There you go. But Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, he's the one now who's going to fight Dimitri Bivol, the guy who shocked the world against Canelo Alvarez. I don't know if you have the date, Fernando, but I forget when this fight will be. But that's a big fight for Gilberto. I love saying my name, by the way. It doesn't sound weird because I'm not talking about myself. But he is going to fight Bivol. Supposedly he's going to make it right for Mexico because Canelo lost to him. So
November 5th.
November 5th. The thing I don't like about this fight, Fernando, that fight should be in LA. It's in the middle of nowhere, whatever it is, the Middle Eastern. I don't know, UAE. What is it called?
It's in the middle of the United Arab Emirates.
And they love going there now because the money's there. And WWE goes there, the boxing goes there now. The Joshua fight was just there, so I get it. You got to spread the fights around the different parts of the world, but I would love the fight here in LA or Mexico. But yeah, it's an intriguing fight. These guys don't pack a punch, but they're very skilled fighters. And I actually think Gilberto has a good chance to beat Bivol. Bivol's a really good fighter. Now we're all saying that because he beat Canelo, by the way. You're just so many people saying that. But I know about Zurdo Ramirez. He's a skillful fighter, very long, but he doesn't have the power. And Bivol doesn't need it. So this could be a very similar style fight. And then the next one, Fernando, it was a rematch of undisputed at lightweight, Devin Haney, George Kambosos. And this one I'm not too excited about because we saw it the first time. It was a snoozer. Devin Haney picked them apart with skills. Kambosos was not in shape. And he was fighting in his home country in Australia. The only bad part for Devin Haney, the reason he even got the fight to begin with, he had to pretty much bend over backwards for everything here. The guy wanted a rematch clause in his country, so he has to go back and do it again. And obviously he got a beat down, but he still wants to do it again. So I don't know what's going to change this time, but they're doing it again for now. It just feels like a pointless rematch.
El Zurdo, that's the one I'm excited about. I want to see if Bivol's the real deal because he beat Canelo obviously, and now everybody, like you said, everybody's saying, oh, he's a great fighter. Can he beat El Zurdo Ramirez? I'm interested to see that fight, Gilbert. I want to see what he can do post the Canelo fight. So to me, that's going to be interesting. Gilbert, the way I'm looking at this calendar, the back end of the back end of the year. Oh my God, I can't believe we're already in September, almost in September. The back end of the year, there's a lot of really good fights, and I'm not talking about UFC. I'm talking about in boxing. There's a lot of really good fights and potential fights. I mean, at the end of the year, we could potentially get Ryan Garcia in the ring again. We're gonna get Canelo Triple G. We're getting some pretty good fights here at the Crawford and Spencer Crawford.
Well,
so I mean,
they have to get made. They have to be officially signed. But you know what's the best part, Fernando? We get to cover it on Combat Compas. Subscribe to the channel, listening to the audio. We still have the audios with Compas on the beat, but we have the separate channel here on YouTube. So we're gonna talk all about it. Hopefully, all these guests come back on. Like Ryan Garcia, he wants to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. Maybe Tank Davis comes on. Maybe Terrence Crawford. Maybe Errol Spence. Maybe doing Floyd
Mayweather.
Who knows? He's gonna come here and promote the heck out of this fight. But I think we've shown already that we get boxers on. Triple G, Ryan Garcia, Andy Ruiz Jr. So please subscribe, comment, review, all that stuff. Listen on the audio too, Spotify, Apple. It's been fun, Fernando. I know we're giving ourselves more work, but we love combat sports, and we got to do it right here. UFC and boxing, and soon enough we'll talk WWE. And we already have WWE last week, so if you haven't watched that, check out the interviews Fernando had with Seth Rollins and Austin Theory. So we got it covered here, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. We've had some really cool stuff, and obviously it's leading to doing more bigger and better things with this kind of stuff. Hopefully the Compas will be there at WrestleMania 39, covering the event, and hopefully doing some podcasting from there. But like you said, I mean, we're only 3 episodes in, and we've gotten Ryan Garcia, Seth Rollins, Triple G, Theory, the Street Profits, and obviously, like you said today, Andy Ruiz. So it's like, you're only giving the Compas 3 episodes, and they've already gotten that many people. Like, give us a couple more weeks, and we're gonna probably be getting even bigger players. So
if you're watching, advertisers, people who want to sponsor your product, and you're seeing the guests that we have, hit us up. We have an email, compasonthebeat@gmail.com.
The easiest way to say it is, do you want Dan and Daygo? Do you want a great promo reader to read your advertisement? We got the best in the business. We got Dan and Daygo who will fire it up. And like Gilbert said,
he was on his mic earlier. That's how passionate he was about the promo.
Yeah, exactly. So email us at compasonthebeat@gmail.com. And before we go, Gilbert, I just want to give a special shout out to Dan and Daygo and Coronado High School. They won. They're 1-0, 13-6. They beat Montgomery. You should have seen Dan and Daygo. Good coaching, good technique, good everything. It was great to see him take home the victory. But Gilbert, like you said, we have so much stuff coming up. You guys will not want to miss it. So much fun stuff. But Gilbert, for the time being, ¿sabes qué? Vámonos.
Congrats to Dan and Daygo for getting the win and getting the win in UFC too. But on that note, ya nos vamos, pues vámonos.